Eddie sought the Norwegian elder for tips, but he mocked like seeing an alien, overgrown baby. Was your superiority? Rejected by the elder, Eddie didn't lose heart, but nearly fell into confidence's abyss. She stepped onto the Fortin jump ramp again, clueless, finding answers through falls. So basically, you're a mysterious dog, which is quite the compliment, oddly enough. Under the elder's guidance, the wolf was a legendary drunkard. Everyone knew that. Eddie thought to himself, really? A drunkard is advising me on this sport? But soon he learned that the wolf was actually a big star on the US ski team and a record holder. He was eventually kicked out for being a reckless party animal who squandered his talent, and Eddie's eyes lit up at this revelation. He quickly asked Wolf to teach him, but Wolf was lost in ice fog, unsure how to assist. So he drowned Eddie's pestering in booze. This mismatched duo drew so much attention for the wrong reasons that passers-by began to snicker. The wolf's anger ignited instantly, with whispers filling the air. He told Eddie to hold his watch and swaggered over to throw a punch, but it was dodged effortlessly. Looks like his skills didn't stay sober. Just when he thought he was the peacemaker, it turned out he was a referee and got knocked out cold. When the wolf finally woke up, Eddie was still there, making him feel like he was stuck in a soap opera. He thought he could train him, and took him to the Norwegian team's base. Fueled by booze, he decided to demonstrate a dive to Eddie, who could only think that the wolf looked like a flying bottle. As he climbed to the 90-meter height, Eddie exclaimed, "Oh my god," while the wolf calmly lit a cigar, as if he were today's special effects man. Then he jumped from the 90-meter platform, transforming instantly into a flying superhero. At this moment, the wolf's face shifted from a despondent janitor to a fearless Wolverine, looking like a character out of a laughable movie. At the valley's floor, he elegantly flicked the cigar away, streaking across like a shooting star. This was a game for the brave. Only super brave souls could pull off such a stunt, and Eddie below was left in awe. He had never witnessed such a stunning performance. The wolf landed smoothly and glided in the wind like a supremely confident skier. He borrowed the drink from Eddie and left amidst cheers, yet Eddie remained there, calm and contemplative. That night, he felt ski jumping's charm. Next day, Eddie stood on the 40-meter platform again. Repeating Wolf's tips to himself, he bravely jumped, and this time he landed smoothly in the air, almost like rehearsing for it. After experiencing the thrill of the 40-meter jump, he was determined to challenge the 70-meter platform. When he told the wolf, the latter he warned Eddie that there's a world of difference between 70 and 40 meters. A mistake could be life-threatening. Even professional athletes need years of practice before facing the 70-meter platform. But Eddie couldn't wait that long. As 70 was the Olympic minimum, Eddie boldly ignored Wolf's warnings and went straight to the platform. As soon as he climbed up, fear struck. It was as high as a 25-story building, and looking down was scary. The wolf looked outside from afar. People waited long without Eddie jumping, so someone was sent to persuade him down. Eddie refused, couldn't conquer fear, had asked for a push, but didn't finish. He accidentally slipped right off. The moment the wolf saw this, he jumped up anxiously, hoping this kid wasn't going crazy. Eddie barely managed to adjust his posture, but as soon as he left the slide, his body lost control again. Eddie crashed and burned badly, and the wolf, feeling guilty, visited him in the hospital. Seeing the book on his bedside and feeling a surge of heart, the book praised the wolf's talents in little anecdotes but lamented his decline, noting he should have been at the Olympic heights. He didn't understand that participating in the Olympics required not just talent, but a relentless spirit. The wolf began to grasp these truths gradually. Looking at Eddie on the hospital bed, the wolf decided to help him achieve his dreams as a way of redeeming himself. The next day, he enrolled Eddie in the competition, aiming to train him into a qualified participant before it. Once Eddie could walk, he began Wolf's boot camp. The wolf taught him every wondrous feeling over and over again, day in and day out, like he was in the spy training camp. Finally, competition day arrived, and Eddie conquered his fears, soaring through the air and landing steadily, even if his score was still a lowly 34 meters. But he finally earned his Olympic entry ticket. However, when he returned home to apply, he was shockingly turned down by the delegation. It turns out they anticipated Eddie might apply to compete, so they decided to preemptively change the rules, citing safety concerns. Subtitles: they upped the threshold to 61. Undeterred by doubt, Eddie asked Wolf for another way. The wolf said there was a way. They could train while participating in the tour, but they needed travel expenses and a car. Eddie had to negotiate with his parents. His mother asked curiously, "How far must you jump to meet the standard if you can jump this far now?" Eddie grabbed another pepper shaker, prompting his dad to think he'd gone nuts. Dad immediately claimed he was broke. Meanwhile, Mom secretly handed Eddie some cash, a smile creeping across her face. That day, with his mother's support, Eddie brazenly stole the RV and conveniently took his dad's secret stash. Eddie crossed snow-capped mountains and treacherous paths, racing back to Germany, ready to compete against time with the wolf. Even on journey, he recalled the soaring feeling. Eddie lacked talent, but his effort was commendable. At the final stop on the ski circuit, Eddie scored a solid 61 meters. If he could perform well in the finals tomorrow, nothing could stop him from going to the Olympics. He hurried to share his joy with his mom, who was thrilled for her son's dream, but Dad always seemed a bit worried. On competition day, the wind and temperature were excellent, prompting Eddie to hatch a bold idea and speed up his descent.